So this project started because when we were there in 1986, a number of things happened in the world, and we weren't in the U.S. to experience, well, how did our culture deal with that? How did our family deal with that? One was Chernobyl, and one was the explosion of the Space Shuttle Challenger. And this poem is called a haibun. Is anyone familiar with that? It's a prose poem followed by a haiku that's tangentially linked to the prose poem. January 1986, Challenger. He wears a hat like Frank Sinatra's. His name is Carlos, and a sea of people part as he glides through the outdoor market. The farmers and weavers stare at his three-piece suit, vest pocket married to its watch. We live at his home while attending language school. Every week, his young wife Sylvia must fry his special peppers, so potent their vaporized oils burn our eyes when we enter the house, and her face streams tears. When we come home for lunch, the white parrot Chulo lunges at us, even while chained to his perch, pale neck stretched far until his body plummets over and down and around an evil Ferris wheel. Chulo grooms Sylvia's hair often. One afternoon we walk in, and the small black and white TV spews rapid Spanish. We puzzle at the picture of the space shuttle lifting off into a pale sky over and over, consumed by a ball of light. Grande boom, says Carlos. Down the street, the Gringo bar blares Van Halen's Jump. Carlos whispers, pobrecitos. We are far from home, where our families are weeping, mouths open, circling for air. Thank you. And so, how are we on time?
As long as you want to go.
As long as you want to go. Don't say that to a poet. They'll be here a long time. So, in my readers, my friends who are reading these poems for me, the magical realism is there, and some of them are actually real, and I said, how are the readers of this potential book going to tell the difference? And because sometimes, don't you think real life is really crazy, and it's really hard to know what's magical and what's real life, so I'll let you decide about this one. And in Central America, you probably know that old Bluebird buses are used for public transportation all over. Bluebird, 1986. My teacher from the Spanish school takes a weekend trip with me, brings her teenage son. At Panajachel, the beggar children ask, buy a bic, buy a bic, buy a bic? Their hands clench pens. I buy a weaving from an Indian woman with heavy silver earrings. Beside her sits a young girl with a cleft palate, its hole large and dark. On the return trip, the old Bluebird bus grinds gears over mountains. A group of armed soldiers appear, stop the bus. We all step out onto the roadside. The teacher's face is pale. Her son's knees are shaking. The head soldier walks toward me, holding his machine gun lazy, says in slow English, "We like Americans very much." His green eyes match the desperate jungle. This one appears today in the online journal, the Yellow Chair Review. They are looking for submissions. Please submit to them. They're really looking, and they also have a chapbook contest. The journal for this month is a horror review in time for Halloween. The Doña shares a recipe. El mono makes men virile, fuerte, says Doña Luisa, soothsayer of the colonia. She parses the virtues of monkey meat and other animal flesh, recites favorite recipes with her parrot cackle of laughter. We tell of the day's village market trip, the truck bed of hissing iguanas, small hands and feet bound as if in prayer, men and women lifting writhing nightmares into burlap. The Doña's mouth forms O in pleasure as she stories the cooking of lizard, hands making the motions of a butcher, conjuring green skin hissing when dropped to hammered skillet, scales that crackle and spit as they kiss the hot oil, claws turn tender, curling as if to climb, the jaws working, crunching their imagined hibiscus blossoms. Kind of creepy, I know. All right, this is my last poem from this collection, and I'm going to introduce a friend of mine, someone I went to high school with, Anya. The reason why I'm introducing you to her is that she has become a really good photographer. And I don't know if you know that a lot of journals, online and in print, are really publishing joint projects of poems linked with art, photography, paintings, that kind of thing. So she and I are collaborating on something. And if I may say what your picture is, she went to New York City last February, was it? When it was really cold. And she took this amazing picture. And it's black and white, and there are very stark trees with no leaves, and you see all the branches, and then a waterfall going down deep, and it's a memorial at Ground Zero in New York City. So it's very striking, and this poem that I wrote actually was for an entirely different reason, but it goes with this picture, so wish us luck in our submission. So this Witness for Peace organization, several of us have, or most of us, have gotten connected on Facebook in the last couple of years. And we've been posting pictures from that time, 1986, and a lot of us just say, my God, we were so young. We were so young. And we didn't, the young feel that like they're immortal, right? Nothing's going to happen to them. Even though we were surrounded by these horrible killings going on in Nicaragua and Guatemala, you just don't think anything's going to happen to you, and it's kind of the innocence of the young. And then, so this is a poem in response to that. To also, several members of this group have passed away recently in the last couple of years, and so just kind of all of that culminating together. And I want to explain that I'm going to use it's a very short poem. I'm going to use the word sigh, and it's not the breath, it's the farm tool that's used to cut wheat, the long blade. Inscription. Young, we did not know absence. Its slippered bodies and the hollow blue, and earth and its green blades, the sigh unfastened. A cup is filled, is empty, filled again. There was forgiveness and a rage, the ground opening, then the lying in. Thank you very much.